Welcome everyone to the Paranormal Pride. As you can see, we're back. We had a lot of things going on, and tonight I have a guest host. I have Ron here with me tonight. I thought it might be appropriate for the guests that we have, so I'm just going to get right down to it since everybody is here. So tonight, my guests are Stan and Teresa Fikes. They have an event that's coming up in Ozark, Alabama called the Deep South Paracomic-Con. And we're interested in going to it. So we want to know more. So I figured what better way than to ask the questions about what's going to be going on there, all the stuff that they do in Dothan, Alabama, and other places. They have a bunch of event venues that they have access to. So I'd like to hear from them and see what they've got to share with us. So I'd like to welcome Stan and Teresa to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Well, you guys are small business owners of many small businesses.
Yes.
How do you have time for all that stuff?
I don't know. We never sleep. Never sleep.
Well, well, I hear the kids, so apparently you got kids too.
Well, we're actually in a public place because internet is better here.
Oh.
So they're not ours, but we do have kids. We do. We have 2 girls, 4 boys, and 17 grandkids.
Ooh. That's a lot.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes.
We have 4 girls and 4 grandchildren and 1 angel grandchild. So I'm happy with what I got. I'd hate to have somebody call 17.
Yeah.
You babysit all 17?
But they don't all live close by. Most of them do, though. Most of them do. And holidays is very hectic. We have this rule that we take turns go into everybody's house, and whoever has the newest house has to do Thanksgiving. So they host. We bring the food and everything, but they host it at their house.
Okay, well that works out. To kind of motivate you to stay in the house that you have for a little while, doesn't it?
Yes.
So what are some of the businesses that you guys run?
Okay. I'll start with mine. I have eWriter Resources, which is a writing company, and I help others create content, ebooks, write academic papers that they need, medical. I've even done some medical reports, just topping it up for someone, insurance papers that they needed, just anything that you need written up, I do it. I also do some data entry through that, and I have a guy that's a graphic designer that helps me with ebook covers and the insides of different books. We've done children's books and stuff like that for other people.
If you need a graphic designer, another one, let me know. I have one that's a couple doors down that would love to be talked to. She does an excellent job. Worked for some of the biggest companies in the world. And I wish I was kidding. I'm not kidding. So, I mean, one of the companies she worked for was Target, Sephora, Aveda. So there you go. I did my due diligence today. You said her, I thought of her. Like I said, you need somebody, let me know. I'll give you their name and information.
Okay, that's great.
Of course, you could be listening too.
Oh, that's good. Yes. What it did was we started Adela Haunted Tours because we were traveling in the Southeast United States doing various tours at different places. But then whenever I got to my hometown of Dothan, Alabama, they said I had to have my own separate entity to work there. So we created the Dothan Downtown Tours. And that's very interesting because it's a walking tour. In downtown Dothan, we do let them go in at least one of the historical haunted buildings there. It's actually picking up. We've been doing it a little over a year now, and it's really started to pick up. and it gives us plenty of exercise, which we need. So that helps a lot. As far as Adela Haunted Tours, we do such things as the USS North Carolina battleship in Wilmington, North Carolina. We set up investigative tours there for overnight stays. And we also do a tour through places like Poly Jail in Union Springs, Alabama. And we have a few other areas that we can cover. We don't have a whole lot set up because we do the Dothan downtown tour, seems like every Saturday night. And during September, we are pretty much swamped, September and October, with events. We also help Cahaba do their haunted history tour that they do in October, as well as the Dothan downtown tours doing all their Halloween stuff as well. Of course, then before we get into the other one, I'm going to let Stan tell you about some of his stuff he does.
Well, I do graphics, as she was saying, but my main thing is I have a podcasting network, the web radio network, and I do podcasting. I produce 4 nights out of the week, and that kind of consuming, and we have several shows on the network. But I also run a hobby farm. I raise chickens and birds and things of that nature. My daytime job is I'm a butcher. So, and yeah, they call me the Paranormal Butcher because we have a paranormal team as well. And so that I kind of got tagged with that. But so I just a whole bunch of things, too many irons in the fire sometimes, but yeah, we manage.
So you have a make your own ghost kit.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I teach about that in Walmart all the time. Find the machete aisle, and there you go.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to be using some of those bones from work this week, this coming September. So, but you ready for us to tell you about the big event that we're having?
Yes, we'd love to hear about it.
Well, we are doing Deep South Paracomic-Con, and it is a horror-themed con where we are going to have it's just a whole bunch of stuff going on all at one time. We are still taking volunteers for it. We are still taking that. We do have a few vendor spots available as well. But my part of it is the marketing department, and I will also be in charge of making sure everybody has their printouts and they know where to go and who's going to be there and what to see. And I'll be in charge of the ticket booth where everybody comes in. I'll be in charge of the VIPs. And I guess I'm going to kind of be in charge of the concessions, which we're calling the Snack Shack this year. Yes. Maybe we could come up with something a little more towards the theme than Snack Shack, maybe. I don't know. Maybe something like that. We are going to have, last year we had over 75 vendors, and we expect to at least have that many this time.
We're close.
Yeah, we try not to have a whole bunch of the same kind of vendor, so it's kind of a variety when people come in there. They're not seeing the exact same stuff. So a lot of our vendors are a little bit limited on what they have to sell. We don't take more than 2 people that sell anything similar. It's okay to sell something similar, but not totally exactly alike, if that makes sense. If they do sell something that we feel is similar, and we will put them on opposite ends of the building, and it is a big building. It does hold 4,000 people. We're not saying that we're going to have 4,000 people, though. We just say it will hold 4,000 people. That would be great if it did. You want to tell them that stuff that's coming?
Well, this year we kind of changed direction a little bit. Of course, like I said, we have a paranormal team, but last year it was predominantly towards the paranormal field, and we had a whole haunted museum, that type of thing, haunted objects and things of that nature. This year, we're going to have what I'm calling a horror house. It's a little bit more than a haunted house per se, um, and we're still going to have some haunted items and things like that. That's going to be in a little bit different location. Um, but we're having games, a little bit more games this year than we had last year.
And some of them have to do with those bones from work.
Yeah, we're actually going to have a dowsing rod game, and we're going to teach people how to use the dowsing rods and see what kind of luck they have. Of course, a lot of people
Yeah.
use the dowsing rods to find graves and
Right.
things of that nature. And so, we're going to have something, games like that. People, the interactive games. We're going to have a VR room, virtual reality room, where people can go on a ghost hunt, um, virtually. And so, that's some of the new additions to the con. Where our entertainment is a bit different this year than last year. Of course, we have a performer, um, Faith Santiago. How old is Faith?
11.
11 years old. And she's going to be singing 3 songs for us. She is fantastic. We've had her on some of our podcasts on our network, and
She actually auditioned for me. That was awesome.
yeah, so
Oh wow.
you know, yeah, entertainment like that, and then of course we have what is the little gentleman's name? That's
Connor.
Connor. He is raising money for Kawasaki's disease, a heart condition, and he's working through the American Heart Association.
Hmm.
Well, when we invited him to come, he immediately went in his room and wrote a speech. So he gets to be on stage, and we're going to highlight him really well so people can hear his story. And our whole outreach to this thing is we have to help our kids. Boys and Girls Club of Ozark. If we don't help our kids, our future isn't bright at all. So so that's the whole reason we put this con on. To help our kids. We're going to have a blood drive there as well. The legal vampires, as I call them.
They're going to dress up too.
Yeah.
They're going to dress up.
Good for them.
Um,
Well,
so, but
works the theme.
Who?
I said them dressing up works the theme.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Like
Yes.
vampire, yeah.
Yes.
and of course our cosplay, we're making it a little bigger this year than last year. Um, we have a lot of people that's probably going to show up in costume, or at least they say they are. And so that's a big thing for me. I like seeing the people in the costumes and things of that nature. I'm also a photographer, or used to be a photographer, 14 and a half years. So I used to take a lot of photos of people that do cosplay and things of that nature. So it kind of stems from that. I like watching these folks dress up and see how creative they can be. And I mean, it's just kind of fun for me.
Will there be a contest for that?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know Erica had one
Yep.
here in Pensacola, and it drew very well.
Yeah. Got a
Good.
lot of
Good.
lot of contestants.
I do know this. This is as much as I can say about the prize, but I do know that first place is going to be more than $100 for sure. Um, our other director is Shawana, and she doesn't want me to tell exactly what it is because it may go up. She said, but it certainly won't come down.
Mm.
And there's going to be an adult category and a teen category. And I'm not sure if there'll be subcategories under that since she's doing it. But she is getting up. I think everybody that enters it's going to get a prize. and then she'll have a first runner up, I do believe, and a second runner up that will also get little bigger prizes. But then the grand prize will be more than $100.
Cash.
Yes, cash. The green money. Yeah.
Bendable everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think everybody still takes cash, or most people do. I'm
I hope so.
not real sure.
There's been a couple places we found where they said they couldn't take it. They can't take cash. You have to swipe. Okay. But that was in Kansas or Missouri back in the day.
Yeah. When the COVID crap. During that. Yeah, they couldn't take. They had a big sign. Cannot accept cash, credit card. You had to use Google Pay or something with your phone, where they nobody could touch it.
We won't go into that. You know what? That is now a long time ago. And yes, people are still apparently getting COVID and getting treated for it. We're not going to talk about that.
Well, that's why we left that crap state. Because it's run by an idiot. So.
Well, we do have things in place for that at our con. So, yes. We do have a medical officer that will be there.
That's good.
And she will, we have two of them actually. And our senior medical officer is pretty adamant about people doing what they're supposed to. And she's like, I don't even think she's 5 foot tall, but she's bad.
They usually are.
Bad. Yeah.
A lot of energy and a really small package.
Yep. So,
I know. Just threaten me.
Your event is it's paranormal and horror films?
Yes.
And comic? Oh.
Yeah, it's like a combination of everything. A little bit of all of it.
For the horror, they get to kids involved. Stan could teach them how to butcher. I mean,
yes.
That horrifying.
Yeah, he's already been doing that. Really, he's taken our kids and our grandkids to work.
Yeah.
So they know.
They're used to it. It's these new
it gets
ones.
A little bloody.
Yes. I just told him for a costume. Yeah, for his costume, don't change at work. Just come home with all this stuff on it.
There you go.
That would work. Okay, but we have some awesome guests. Yeah, we have some awesome guests that's coming too. I want to mention those as well. We have William Perry, and he is an actor and stuntman. He actually was the stunt double for Robert Englund in Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2. And Mr. Englund, and I'm not exactly sure on the reason, if he was sick or whatever, but he couldn't finish playing it in number 3, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. What was the name of that? Dream Warrior. Yeah, Dream Warriors.
Yeah,
he couldn't play it. So at the last minute, they had to find somebody that could play his role. So they got William Perry, his stunt double, to step in and actually play the role. So that's exciting that he's going to be coming. And he's going to do a panel that teaches us how to become a Hollywood stuntman. So we might get to see Stan up there doing some stunts.
You know what's funny is that just 2 weeks ago, we were talking about a song, and it came on Sirius, and he goes, that song was written just for for the movie.
Yep.
And he asked me what year it was, and I was like, I don't know. So I looked it up. I don't remember what year it was at now, but we talked about that movie in the car on our way back from South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
So it's funny you should mention that one.
Yeah. Bill is really excited about coming to the South. He lives in LA, of course, and He doesn't. Of course, they don't eat like we do here in the South, and my wife is going to go out of her way to treat him to some Southern food.
Yep.
Fried bologna sandwiches. You're done.
In other words, real.
See?
It's one of my favorite things.
I told him that's what I was serving, bologna sandwiches.
Well, we just had fried bologna, egg, and cheese sandwiches for dinner.
Oh, we had it with tomatoes and onion sandwiches.
See? There you go.
Yeah.
Like I told him, I said, I may not sound Southern, but my family's from the South, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
So
Shawana makes this really great squirrel gravy and rice, and she says she don't know if she can get squirrel this time of year. You usually have to wait for the first frost, so we won't have that. But she said she's going to see if she can find some, and she's going to make him some of that too. His wife
Probably
has
walk
been
out and grab one.
Yeah, his wife has been experimenting with collards, and he keeps telling her that that's poor people food. I'm like, really? Okay.
Not here.
Not here. It's not.
have you seen the price of collards? They're ridiculous. Maybe swamp soup? Maybe that would get him.
Yeah.
That's good. That's some good stuff.
So we're going to set him up. Our whole team is going to pitch in, and we're going to bring him some food for him to eat.
He's going to leave with needing bigger pants.
Yes. Yes.
Some banana pudding. Oh, just take him to Whataburger. Yeah.
I'm going to buy him some Tums.
You can buy him Tums. He's going to need it. He's going to need it. Yeah.
If he's not used to eating this type of food, he's
going
to need some Tums.
Maybe you should tell him to start taking Pepsid the week before, twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, so he's ready when he comes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, hit you some Zantac before you get here, okay?
Actually, Pepsid is better for you. It won't cause you to get sick. I just went through 2 years of having to take that kind of stuff, and Pepsid is it. So, and it doesn't, and Tums will cause calcium buildup in your heart. They don't tell you that.
Oh, I know it helps build calcium in your bones, but I can't take it, and that's one of the things got too much calcium in it. Yeah. But I eat things like collard greens. I eat that. That's got a lot of calcium in it too, and protein. That was surprising.
Yeah. Yep.
It is amazing. So, I want to say hi to Donna and Jeremy out there. Donna's my sister, so we got a lot of family that listens in a lot of the time, so I want to make sure that they know that I appreciate everybody coming to listen. So who else do you have coming?
We have Lee Triana Terry Brown and her lovely husband Matt Brown. They will be coming, and her mother Judy Terry will be coming with her, and they all will be doing they will have a booth set up, so you will be able to go to the booth and get a reading from Lee Triana and from her mother, Judy. And Lee Triana is a shaman. She's a Native American shaman. She's a psychic medium, and she is on Hulu's TV show called Repossessed. I don't know if y'all have seen that, but it is awesome.
I interviewed her about 2 months ago.
Okay, cool. Well, she's going to be doing some workshops. Matt is going to be doing some workshops too. They're just going to be all over the place there. And they like Southern food too.
Well, they better if they live in South Carolina?
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where they're from. And her mother is going to be coming, and she's just a sweet lady. She is just awesome. And she has some gifts of her own. But they are just going to have to come out and meet them, and they're just amazing. They really are.
Yeah, Ron really wants to investigate with Lee Triana.
Oh, yeah.
She said some stuff during the show. Actually, he co-hosted with me that night too. And everything she said, he was basically soaking it up like a sponge.
Well, it was stuff I've thought about. I would like to try and do, but I can't. I don't have her ability. That's why I said if we had,
We
a medium, that's why I would have her, try and do some of these things. Hello,
We
Tom.
recently investigated with her.
Did you?
She went, yeah, she
Yes.
went to the USS North Carolina battleship a couple months ago with us, and of course, we've known Lee a long time, and she's been to every one of our cons. She is just a super lady, and
She went with us to Poly Jail.
she sure did.
She did.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
So,
you guys.
yeah.
Didn't you guys have an event there at the Poly Jail recently?
We did. Yes, we did. Yes. And she went with us. We did an investigation last year in a haunted magic shop, and she went with us there. And really and truly, we were so exhausted that we couldn't even function. And so she kind of helped step in. Her and our other guest, Michael Fox, they stepped in and really helped us out, and actually took over the whole thing and went with it, and it was awesome.
That's good. Like I said, I'm really like to meet her. And Matt, I didn't know. I hadn't heard anything. She didn't share anything about Matt. She was, she was just talking about her shows and books and stuff when I interviewed her. So it'd be interesting to meet him as well. And then you guys also have. Go ahead.
Matt is going to do a couple of workshops. One of them I really want to be in on because he's doing it the old school way. He's going to teach us the old school of paranormal investigations and stuff. And his other workshop is on how to set your inner compass. So if you're empathic or have any empathic tendencies, you'll know how to ground yourself and kind of how to identify them. And I think that's really good because I think a lot of empaths are unsure how to control their own feelings. So I think that's going to be a really big help. And he is going to be doing that. He has taken several classes. He is a professor in psychology as well. And he is in the military. He's in the reserves, in the Army Reserves, right?
Army National Guard.
Mm-hmm. National Guard. Okay. I get those mixed up. So,
Same
okay. So
He's still serving. That's all that matters. He's serving.
That's
That's
it.
right.
That's it.
That's right.
And let's see. Hopefully, in his class, he can help people to know the difference between their emotions and the emotions that they're feeling from something else.
Yes. Yes.
That's,
And I
that's a
know
big
that
one.
I have an issue with that too. And that's something that I hear about from a lot of empaths that I've met is they don't realize that it's not their feelings that they're feeling, it's someone else's. And it does help. And I think if they know how to recognize that and know what they can do so they don't pick up on everybody that comes in the room, because that just drives you crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, I mean, well, that's not to talk about right now. But, it sounds like a great class for somebody who doesn't know. I don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. That's
Right.
kind of where that's at. And then I saw that you had Fox Family Paranormal.
Yes, we do. That's Destiny and Michael Fox and their team will be coming. And they were also on Hulu's Repossessed. And they have some fascinating stories to tell. And they will be set up as well. Hang on just a second.
Sorry. My little alien's going off. Sorry.
His phone's driving me crazy.
Of course.
Nobody
wanted to talk to you all day. And now that you're
Yep.
on here, they want to talk to you. Yep. See?
That's it. That's it. But anyway, Destiny is also an empathic and psychic medium as well. And we have been on investigations with her, many of them. And she did go with us to the battleship. And it was just amazing to see her in action. We did the Estes method with her. And it was like they were just coming at her like crazy. And she just had to have them back off. Really, it was too much. And I think she has a lot of interesting stories that she's been dealing with. And her and Michael both have been studying under one of our other guests to become demonologists. And so they've had a few stories about that adventure as well that they'll be talking to us about at the con. So it's awesome.
And then that other guest is Jeremy Leonard.
Yes, it is Jeremy Leonard. And let me tell you something else. Michael and Destiny Fox, when they first got married, they were a combined family, and so they rushed to get married because they had to get on with their life and taking care of the kids and stuff. So they have decided that they want a actual wedding. So they're going to have a wedding at our Paracon, and Jeremy Leonard is going to be the official doing it, and Stan's going to give the bride away. So that's going to be awesome. We're gonna have that, and we're gonna have some donations given to them as far as the wedding cake. Everybody's gonna get a little wedding cake, and some champagne has been donated by Benchmark Wine and Beer from Ozark, Alabama.
Huh.
So
That's not something that you see at a Paracon, right?
Well, you know, spirits belong with where spirit people are.
yeah.
So that's the way I see it. You know, every distillery we've ever been to has been haunted, so why not?
Yeah. And last year we had another couple get engaged at our Paracon. And that was unusual when we told them to come back. They're coming back this year in order to kind of celebrate their first anniversary of being engaged. And I said, why don't you just make it a double wedding? Let's just do it.
Yeah, I mean, how many years do you have to be engaged to get married?
Right. You don't.
We only knew each other a year, and we already knew after we'd been together 6 months that we were getting married.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
and we've been together 40 years. So,
oh, wow. We're not
40
far
years.
behind you.
Oh, really? So let's finish talking about your event, and then we're going to talk about you two. So we got Jeremy Leonard coming, and we all know Jeremy Leonard from Ghosts of Morgan City and 28 Days Haunted. In fact, I was funny. I told him, I said, it's funny. I knew almost everybody on 28 Days Haunted. I talked to them all. And so Jeremy, I feel like I know him, even though I've only talked to him on Facebook. I haven't had a chance to have him on yet. He's always busy, or he had health issues, and I didn't want to bother him. You know, just trying to be respectful of his time. So, you know, because people are always asking him to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
But I'm glad to hear he's coming. Did he come last year to your event?
He did, yes.
He's been every year so far.
Every year.
Well,
Jeremy's
I only knew about your event. Let's see. I knew about it last year, but we had just moved here. And the year before that, I found out about it. So this would be the third year that I knew about it. How many years have you guys been doing it?
3 years.
This will be our third.
Okay. And then I'm all caught up. So
we started out in a smaller building, and that first year that we had it, we didn't realize it was going to be so big. And we was bringing them in the front, and he was shoving them out the back because we were breaking fire codes.
The room actually held 400 people, but with all the vendors and the tables and stuff like that, that drastically dropped. But we maxed it out both days, and so I'm like, okay, if they come in the front, I'm going to push them out in the back, out there where the food trucks are.
And we had tables set up out there with games on it and umbrellas over it because it was very hot. Last year it was 102 degrees when everybody came in, and we have air conditioning.
You have air conditioning this year?
We have air conditioning, and that's one of the things that a lot of other areas here, events that's going on, they're all outside. They're big, but they're all outside. Well, ours is going to be big and inside, so there will be air conditioning.
And they just renovated the Civic Center in Ozark, and they replaced the air conditioners, new stage, new sound system. So it's going to be a whole lot more comfortable
Yes.
this year than last.
Did they upgrade the internet to fiber?
Actually,
Yes.
yes, because C Spire actually bought Troy Cable,
Yes.
which was what they have.
Yeah, internet is great there.
Yeah, there's no problem.
Yeah, I work for one of the companies,
Okay.
Okay.
so
Yep.
I'm not going to say who. So, but yeah, I know that they've been doing a big build in Dothan.
Hmm.
So, but I know you guys are in Ozark, so
Yes.
for the event. Is there any historical factors about Ozark people should note when they're coming through town? You know, maybe other haunted buildings, things like that might go, hey, that place is haunted, or
Um,
But-
not in Ozark that they will actually let you go in and do.
There's actually a
I
haunted
thought it was,
place
I
right
thought it
next
was a corner now.
I see what Tom is saying.
Yeah, I thought she was working the corner.
it wasn't in Chicago, so you know.
Oh,
work in the corner. Yeah. Hey, whatever it takes, right?
Had to get somebody in there.
Hey, gas is expensive, man.
That's
hey,
right.
but I will say this: Dothan's not very far from Ozark, and Dothan has a great tour.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I've
That was-
heard that.
Yeah,
It was so bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I will have to say this: Mural City Coffee Company has the best coffee. They have Web Paranormal Coffee.
We have our own brew
Okay.
there, so
So they have
Now,
the
I'll
best
tell
coffee, and they're haunted.
When we worked at the Sally House, there was they had Sally's blend coffee and all that. They
Yeah,
had a whole
somebody,
bunch
yeah.
of different ones that was related to the Sally House in Atchison, Kansas. So they had coffee created before all these other places came out with it. This had to be
Yeah.
shit. It was
10 years ago.
no, it's like 15 years ago that they came out with the coffee for Atchison. So, and it was made in a haunted building. The actual coffee was ground in a haunted building.
That's how
So-
ours is. Mural City is one of our places that we investigated, and we got evidence, and they just totally remodeled it. And guess what? They stirred up a bunch of stuff, and they're having some issues. So we will be coming back real soon.
I'd love to hear about it, you know, because that's how we ended up getting not the coffee, but going to a place and talking to them, having a meal, and then saying, hey, I just saw this. And they go, yeah, we're haunted. You want to come investigate it?
Yeah.
Sure. Why not? And we ended up leading tours through there.
Mm-hmm.
Also
That's
in
cool.
Atchison, that we lived 90 miles from. So you got, at least you guys aren't that far from Dothan to be doing stuff. But from Wilmington, you're a little drive.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was 10 hours.
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
10 hours.
Yeah, that's what I
Wow.
was thinking. I was like, wow, that's
See,
And there's no
I'm
good
from
way to get
Wilmington,
there. Okay.
so I've driven that a lot. So
yeah.
it wasn't that bad. Not to me.
We used to drive up on Friday and come back on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
cool. I don't think we could do that anymore, though.
No, we're too old. There.
Yeah,
That's
we just
rough.
took the drive from here to Pickens and back. But we
Well,
went,
up to Tennessee.
but the way back we took it up through Bristol and came back, which I didn't want to say. But we did that. We kind of went in a circle to avoid Atlanta.
Oh, yes.
You know what? It was probably worth it, you know?
Yeah.
But we ended up hitting traffic in Birmingham, Montgomery, and Chattanooga. So
We've been there.
maybe Atlanta was better.
They got they got stuck in all.
Chattanooga's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they're doing construction there, and it's a mess. I didn't know that, but
Yeah. We wanted to go
You
over
know.
to
Old South.
yeah, we wanted to go over to Old South, but we couldn't. We just couldn't. So, but you know, it's always interesting. We got to stay in a haunted place on the trip. Old family home of ours, so of mine anyway. So it was kind of interesting. But so you guys got Jeremy. Let's go back to the event. So we talked about
Okay.
Jeremy. Jeremy is Jeremy doing any workshops or anything like that?
No, he is just doing the wedding ceremony.
Hey, Gary,
Hey Gary.
are you gonna
Hey,
have
Gary.
an investigation at night at your
I
event?
know. I think we're going to just do the after party. Last year, they said it was too much. We was doing too much. And some of the vendors were complaining that they did not have time to set up for the next day. So we are just going to do an after party. And if they want to come to the after party, that's okay. We won't say that that building's haunted.
But it is.
We're not supposed to say that. But yeah,
Okay.
we're going to be
Yeah.
at Benchmark Wine and Beer, and or maybe I'm saying that backwards. Maybe it's
No,
beer and wine.
no.
Okay, I always get it backwards. But they have this really awesome idea. They're going to be theming their drinks towards the horror con, and they're going to, if you bring your ticket or your badge with you, you get 10% off your drinks. And if you come in costume, you get 20% off your drinks. And they have an open area that's outside, a patio outside with a stage. I'm not sure if they're going to have any live music that night or not, but I know that it's going to be very awesome because we know what some of our people are coming dressed as. And one of our guests, let me see, I'm not sure if y'all could see it, if I show you on the phone. Can you see him on the phone? I don't know. Maybe not.
Your green screen is
Yeah.
wiping it
That's
out.
going to mess it up. Okay. Let me see. Look, can you pull it up? He is on our website. It is the American Demon Comics.
Oh, I think I saw something about that. I mean,
Austin Light is his name. He won our cosplay competition last year.
so they get the rule for a whole year, just like Miss America?
Yes. Yes.
What did you say? American Demon?
American Demon Comics. Yes. Austin Light. He looks different than anyone else on there. And he will be sitting out there sipping his drink, waving at the cars coming by.
He will definitely get attention for sure.
Oh, well, that's good. We always want attention for our events. So I'm finding
He
it.
did, yeah, he did create quite a stir with everybody last year because they was unsure about him.
Oh,
He was the winner of our contest, our cosplay contest.
There we go. Well, let me pull this over or share. Hello. Okay, let's pull this up. Okay, so
Yes, that is him.
let's make this a little bit bigger. There you go. Contacts and all, huh?
Yes, he is dressed like the character, which is a female demon.
Oh, I see that. The horns and
And
all.
he's dressed as
I
a
see that.
female.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that was throwing everyone off.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah, considering that. Yeah, why
Yes.
not? So the Paracon or the event that Carl just went to, the one in Paragould, they had a woman there that is a Michael Jackson impersonator.
Oh,
that's cool.
You know, that would throw you off too. You know,
Yeah,
if you're
just
thinking
that.
Michael, and she looked like, I mean, in the pictures I saw, she did definitely look like Michael Jackson. So,
oh wow.
well, hopefully he's a 2-time winner like the Chiefs. Better
Well, we
than the
also
Chiefs.
yeah. We also have Mr. Blaine Rohan, and he is on the Science Channel. He is a shaman and psychic medium. And what else would you say about Blaine? Blaine is Blaine.
Blaine
He's
is
different.
just Blaine. Yeah,
We love him.
yeah. He's a brother of mine, and this world, Blaine just makes this world a better place. And
He did a show for haunted hospitals.
yeah, and
Oh.
Expedition something else. I forget what it was called.
Yeah, he told about some of his paranormal experiences being in the military.
Yeah, he was in the Air Force.
So he tells he'll be telling us about that as well at the con. He will be a speaker, and he also does a workshop for the parents of psychic children. And he will be helping parents to understand how to deal with a child that has these abilities, so that they don't feel bad about themselves, I guess would be the best way to put it.
And not stifle them.
Right. Encourage them with their gifts, but don't create a bigger problem, in other words, with it. Because I know some people just don't know how to handle it, and makes things worse, really. So
And
he's going to
some
be helping.
parents, one of the things that people don't understand is I had somebody who came to me about that. And I told them, I said, don't encourage it. Just let them say what they need to say.
Yes.
You know, because kids sometimes will go overboard if they think that they're getting a lot of attention for something. And that's what I was seeing with their child, is that he may have had abilities, but he would start embellishing on the story that he was telling because he enjoyed the attention. And it's hard for a parent to know when to stop them. So, but I told him, I said, you know, encourage him to tell you whatever he wants to tell you, but don't encourage him to embellish on it unless it's true.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a hard thing for a parent to have children that are like that.
I have one. I guess I claim her. She's mine. Yes. Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah. I really like it when she loves him more than me sometimes, because then he gets the brunt of it.
Oh,
so she is able to pull people into her nightmares.
Oh, that's not
That's
Wow.
So sometimes it's him
Yeah.
that it happens to.
So you two are sharing dreams? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
He has a story about that, but luckily it's not a nightmare. So that's got to be hard. So, okay, so you got Blaine Roan. What are you?
Scott
I mean,
Pepperman.
what are you? Scott Tepper. You know, I've heard his name, and I think I'm friends with him on Facebook, but I've never talked to him.
Ghost Hunters
said
International.
You said Blaine had paranormal experiences in the Air Force?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
In Afghanistan, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
We know somebody else who had some experiences in Afghanistan, some really unusual ones. So I'd love to hear his stories. So, and you said Scott Tepperman, and what? Go ahead and explain about him.
He was on Ghost Hunter International, 2008 to 2012. He kind of got out of that to go into acting. Um, he's been on several. I let's see. The new movie that he has coming out that he actually helped produce is
Cruel Summer.
"Cruel Summer, Pray for Fall."
Yes.
Oh,
And
so that's the one with Santiago, right? Cirillo?
yes,
Mhm.
and one of our team members is actually in that, Dawn Kruger, as well.
Yes.
And so, but Scott will be there promoting his movie and his other things that he does. And I've never met Scott, but I've spoken to him, and he's a great guy. And he doesn't live very far from here, so um, he's he's a good guy. He's willing to come up and kind of share everything that he's got, and he wants to promote that movie, and we're going to try to help him out as much as we can.
Sounds like a good idea. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. We'll all be good, right?
Absolutely.
We are also going to have Jeff Leeper and Maria Player. They will be coming down again this year and going to be explaining some of the things that they do. I know he is an exorcist, and she assists him a lot, as because she is a nurse. And when you're doing an exorcism, you have a need for a medical person to be there to help you when you're doing that whole process. And she's got quite a few tales that she can tell us about assisting him as well. And so that's going to be really awesome to hear them speaking.
Are you guys
Yeah.
familiar with Bill Bean?
Well, he's a fellow Baltimorean. I know that much.
Well, I've known Bill a long time, and he's been on my podcast back when I was doing it several years ago. But these guys, they actually help Bill in deliverances and things of that nature. So some of their stories are pretty insane. But also, Mr. Leeper is an Elvis impersonator.
Yes. He sang for us last year.
I think I knew that, but I also remember him from Ghosts of Shepherdstown, the
Yes.
last 2 episodes of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they came last year. They're coming back this year. They're fantastic people. So, but we also have another paranormal team that's coming in, and it's Richard and Colleen Johnson from Ethereal Voices. We call them EVP.
Yeah.
Richard's a good guy, and so is his wife. She's great. So they're going to come in. They're going to tell us some of their stories, and maybe I can get Richard to show us some of his pictures and videos that he's captured during his 37 years of being a paranormal investigator.
Yeah, he looks very familiar. I think we may have met him in Pensacola.
Very possible. Yeah, that he hangs around. He haunts that area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That explains it, because I remember I've got a card somewhere here.
The logo looks familiar.
For EVP. Well, it's right here.
Yeah.
It's on my thing. So it's very similar. But yeah, I
think he had it on the card.
It was on the card. And I don't know if it was there or if their card was at
hey, do you guys like Ghostbusters?
Oh, who doesn't?
Yeah.
1984, one of the best movies ever.
That's right. Well, we are going to have one of Alabama's Ghostbusters. He's part of the Alabama Ghostbusters group.
Each state has a Ghostbusters.
And Mr.
team.
Ben Bracken. He is into this Ghostbuster thing. And
it looks like his picture.
He just
like
joined
Brandon.
our paranormal team. And it's something I kind of let him in on something he didn't know, and I was surprised. But Dan Aykroyd is like a second or third generation paranormal investigator. That's how we got the idea for the whole movie. So Ben's a great guy, and he's going to bring Stay Puft, which it's like 18 foot tall, and there's a couple of other surprises that him and a couple of his co-stars, if you will, are going to bring to the con. So I'm really excited to see it. But we're going to have a bunch of authors there as well.
Don't forget Debbie.
And Teresa, she is an author, and she is listed as one of our guests. She does fantastic work, and so everybody needs to look up at least one. If y'all want to know how to make moonshine, she wrote a book, and that's one of her best sellers.
How to make the still. How to make the still.
Okay. There's a technicality there. Okay, but we also have Jess Elliott coming in, and Jess is fantastic. She's funny. She's that 70s chick, and
Yes.
I mean, she's just living life. Okay, living life large. So, and also now we have our own crypto person on our team. She just recently joined our team, and that's Debbie Hawk.
Duchess and
Duchess
Crib.
and
She has a
Crib.
really long name.
Yeah, really long name. She's going to be there, and she's going to give us some crypto. I call them cryptomaniac stuff. One day we're going to go find Bigfoot, and I'm going to sit down and have a cup of coffee with him, and we're going to talk.
She has.
You can teach us how to do tree knocks.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
She actually worked for the zoo in Miami.
Yeah.
I want to say there was one other place, I forgot where it was at, where she actually took some of her classes through there, but she got her degree down in Miami. And she studied with Ken Gerhardt. She's been studying with him as well. And she did explain to us how Jurassic Park movie got it all wrong because their dinosaurs was not from the Jurassic period. So I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't know that. It is interesting to hear about all those creatures and how they came about that we're not expecting to see today, and how they could make a comeback. Some of the ones that are extinct. And some have came back that they said were extinct, and then there was some that was spotted. So we're just hoping that nobody brings any insects in any kind of resin to the con. Please don't do that. We don't want a Jurassic Park stuff happening.
Didn't she actually work some with Lee's dad?
She did, yeah. Mr. Alan Terry, I think.
Yes.
Mr. Terry. Lee Triana's father worked down in Miami too. And she was still doing like her internship when he was actually, one of the big guys there.
I think he was like a reptile specialist and some of those other animals and things.
Yes.
So
he did a lot. Oh, his wife, Judy Terry, which is Lee's mom, actually trained animals like for movies and stuff like that.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
going to be really interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots and lots of questions and lots of time standing around getting to know everybody.
Yes. I don't know about standing around though. You're gonna be busy.
No, it's not really standing around, but no, if you're there and you're walking around, I can see a lot of stopping to talk.
Yes.
yeah,
And get to know.
Just stop and visit
Standing around.
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's some videos out there that they claim that they're pterodactyls that they're seeing.
Yeah.
They're not real good videos, but they're interesting.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Has there ever been a good video of Bigfoot
Or
a good?
No.
No.
So I said I haven't seen enough evidence to say there is.
Yeah. Nessie's always in a fog.
But we're in Bigfoot country from what we saw on TV.
Yeah, according to Ken Gerhardt, we're in Bigfoot country. So who knew? Go to Destin, see Bigfoot. You
Right.
know?
You can see the swamp ape too.
Well, the thing is we're on our way down there tomorrow, so maybe we'll see something.
Or maybe you'll see Two-Toed Tom.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about that one too.
That's an alligator.
It is an alligator, but still, he's pretty big and he's very old.
Yeah. They just had an alligator that they had to remove from the campus of UWF the other day. My daughter sent a picture because she's the dispatcher.
So our daughter would have hunted him down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our oldest one, she keeps bringing us gators home. Yeah.
This one was getting too feisty with the college kids.
So
they're no fun.
Oh, those college kids are so wimpy these days.
Run zigzag.
I heard that really doesn't work, but that's what we always tell everybody who comes to visit. If you see an alligator, run this way.
Right.
They don't realize he can't. He's still going to walk the same way at you.
Yeah. I just run them over.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I have not seen an alligator since we've lived here. We've seen signs that say "Don't feed the alligators,"
don't feed them.
And it's like, okay, well, if I don't see it, I can't feed it, And I've been saving my bread to go down to the water to feed the fish and maybe see an alligator, but I don't know if there's any alligators in the Black River. I assume that there's water, so there's gators.
You have to take chicken and throw out there.
Actually, the chicken is more for the crabs.
No, they like chicken.
The crabs really like chicken. But so far, I found that, yes, I grew up eating crabs. Know how to eat them, catch them, all that. I found that I don't like cleaning them anymore. And you as a butcher, you wouldn't have to. You just chop them up in little pieces and we're done.
Right. Of course, I grew up on the coast of North Carolina, and we ate crabs all the time. And now I don't eat crabs just simply because they're not worth it.
They're not. They're really not.
Check those things and get my hands on nasty and yeah.
Yeah.
There's just not
too much work.
Smells
That's
for 2
right.
days.
Too much work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today I was in a meeting and it was about North Carolina. And they asked me what was the difference between Kill Devil Hills and Kitty Hawk. And I said about 9 minutes.
Yes, you're right.
I was like, I think they're in the same county. I said, that's about it. And that ended up being our talk about North Carolina today.
Wow.
But no, the company I work for is based out of Charlotte. So,
okay.
So I get to hear about North Carolina a lot. But how did you guys meet?
His dad was my insurance salesman.
Oh, that's one way to go.
We actually met in the store in town. It's a public place, and his son come in and said hi, and he was like, "This is my son." That's how we met.
And as they say, the rest is history.
So, were you both interested in the paranormal at that time?
I was trying not to be. I was really didn't want to get involved and didn't want to open up, and was trying to push things away because in my mother's beliefs, it was bad to have these gifts, and I needed to, even though she had them, she told me she had them. And I've seen things that she done, but it was like, don't talk about it. Don't let people know you have it, so don't do it. Just try not to do it. But even with her, sometimes it happened, just happened. There's no control in it. So
same thing with us. No insurance guy was involved, but we met at a military base, and we were married 11 years before he knew that I could see spirits. I didn't tell him. I just told him things like randomly that, there's a boy in our house. Mm-hmm. And he'd just kind of shake his head. I'm like, okay. Told him that
House full of girls. What are you talking about?
And I said, I saw my father be murdered. And he's like, okay. And so as we got older, we started, something happened. We were at a car dealership one day and we were signing some stuff. And the car salesman looks at our address and says, you live in the suicide house. And I just looked over at him and said, told you. And that's all I said.
No, that's when I asked her, I said, so this kid you're seeing, I said, what did he look like? And she described him. Before she had a chance to even go over next door to my neighbor's house, I said, Bill, is this true? A kid committed suicide. And he says, yeah, it was Sharon. It was a friend of theirs, used to live there. I knew they lived there, but we didn't know anything about it. And I said, is that true? And he goes, yeah. And I said, what did the kid look like? Described it to a T.
Wow.
But just what Denise said. And I went, oh, crap. But I don't know if you guys have noticed how very few husband and wife, teams there are in the paranormal. I mean, it's rare. It really is from what we've seen.
Well, that's true.
One will be involved and another won't.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just
like with the ghost hunting housewife.
And usually when one's really involved, the other one could care less. I mean, have nothing to do with it. Which I don't know how that's possible, but it is.
Well, Stan was actually the preacher's son. His dad was an insurance salesman and a preacher.
So he was he had insurance that he was going to heaven.
We have a pastor in here tonight on our chat. He investigates with us. It's Gary.
So Stan, did your family believe in spirits and stuff?
My mother.
What were you told? Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. My mother did. She grew up in a holiness church. Yeah. And whenever I was little, that's where I went. My dad was Baptist, Southern Baptist.
Is that a mixture?
My dad is actually from here in Alabama. And so he was not too open to those things. Okay.
Yep. Hellfire and brimstone it is.
Right. And now, as far as me getting into the paranormal, kind of led some from Mom. But I got into a little bit darker side of it to begin with. And then Mom got me out of that. And
his mom was tiny. Yeah. She was. He's 6'3". His mom was like 4'8".
But, so she was very gifted as well. And I like to think any gifts that I have came from her. But so for a long time, Mom, she and I would talk. We left Dad out. And then one day Dad had an experience that he didn't understand. And what did he do? He came to Mom and asked, hey, okay, what just happened to me? So, and then after that, Dad was, I'll say, more in tune, but he was still standoffish about type of stuff.
What happened that changed him?
We actually went into a cave in Tennessee, and we were walking around and looking at the cave, and Dad kind of ventured off a little ways from us and went around the little opening, and he said he seen a little short lady standing there, and the tour guide was behind us. So he comes and asks, he said, but there's a lady around there. And the tour guide laughed. He says, you just seen the spirit of one of the local Native Americans that was there. And so he immediately went to Mom and said, wait a minute, I don't believe in this stuff. So you got to explain to me what just happened to me. And my mom just kind of looked at him and rolled her eyes and says, "We'll talk later." And so they did. They talked about it, and Dad still he admits that there's things, or it did, that was things out there. He just doesn't understand, and
Yeah.
so some of the teachings he had when he was growing up, he found out that were different than what he was told. So, not to say that they wasn't true. It's just that he experienced something that he couldn't handle. And
Hmm.
mom, she's seen spirits all the time. Um, so, it's one of those things. And it just kind of rubbed off on me. And, one day she called me at work and she says, somebody has put in the paper needing paranormal investigators for this team. Do you want us to apply? And I said, yeah, apply. So they accepted us on, and 6 months later, they decided that they didn't want to do it anymore. And a lot of the investigations that we got the investigation because we knew the people and the history of the place and stuff like that. So we decided to. She asked me. She said, "So what are we going to do?" I said, "We're going to start our own team." And that's what we did. Web Paranormal Group. That's how it came to be. And now, a bunch of years later, we're 15 members strong, and we do everything from historical cases to private cases, and
Yep.
we stay busy. Um, as she mentioned earlier, we help out the Alabama Historical Society, archaeological
Yeah.
archaeological
Yes.
society. Um, at the old Cahaba, which used to be Alabama's first capital. Um, so
It's a whole town.
it's a whole town, and so we get to go in every year and help them do their haunted history tour and help them raise money. We probably raised last year what about $40,000 for them and things. So
That's amazing.
Yeah. We're actually their resident paranormal team.
yeah, anybody that calls them, they contact us and ask us about them and things like that. And sometimes we have to go and sit with them and that way there's no more vandalism and things like that because they had
They did.
some bad groups to go in there.
A lot of vandalism.
Yeah, and
That's
they was
bull.
bad.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they just needed someone they can trust, and we've done this a bunch of years with them. Um, we started out with Alabama Paranormal, Nathan Levan. And Nathan was my brother. He unfortunately he passed away from COVID, and we kind of inherited the show from there. And so it's something close and dear to our heart. It's just some place that we want to protect the history, and so people can go and have a good time. And maybe we educate them, try to anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That tour is actually comprised of about a 90-minute tour, and you start out with at the information house, and they give you a little bit of history about the town itself, and then they take you around to various spots and showcase some of the buildings that's still there. They also take you out to some of the digs and let you see that as well. And they take you to the graveyard to tell you ghost stories. I do know that. They do have the historian at the cemetery talking about some of the folks there. They have 3 different cemeteries. One of them they have not started doing any repairs to, but one they actually the vandalism was so bad that some of the above ground graves were so damaged you could see the human remains inside. And so they did have a chance to take some of the money that was raised by the haunted history tour and repair those graves. One of them, it had been flooded so much there that they didn't realize it was an above ground grave, but it was below ground. And they got to dig that out and get that cleaned up. and realized who it was. Of course, we are stationed in the slave house, the Barker slave house, and people get to they do like a wagon ride, the covered wagon, and they get out and go inside the slave house and do like a little mini investigation there with us. It is upstairs and downstairs, and it's actually made of brick. It was four apartments, and they have converted it and added on to the actual original slave quarters. But we get to take people in and let them experience what we have experienced there, and it's quite awesome. And I don't think anybody has really ever left the slave quarters without having something happen. But it
Hmm.
is one of the most vandalized buildings there as well.
Wow.
And we have been able to put a roof on it to help stop some of the leaks. Some of the vandalism damage is extensive. Floors missing, windows have been busted out. Some parts of the house, since it was so vandalized, is not accessible right now until the crews can get in and do the repairs to it. But we do give a little bit of a history about the manor house that burned that was in front of it and the slave quarters by one of the descendants that was from Cahaba. And so it's really awesome. They have food trucks there as well, and some vendors and stuff that's up at the information house. The one of the churches that's still standing is just amazing. It's very active. You hear people walking around, but there's nobody there. And we have experienced that ourselves. The front door opens on its own too. Uh, that was surprising to see
Hmm.
that door open on its own.
Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a little quick story about that. Okay, um, we were investigating the church, and when I walked up the steps to go into the front of the church, out of the corner of my eye, I seen someone standing in the corner. So I go into the church. We close the doors. We were investigating, and we had been in there about an hour. And I decided to go over to the front door, and I had two of my camera people there, and I'm like, okay. I asked the person that was standing on the porch to come in, if they could open the door and come in, and I didn't get any response the first time I asked. Well, Teresa is standing like 10 feet away from me over there, and so the second time I asked, well, the door opened up probably about that much. And then I said, okay, great. And I went and closed the door back. I said, can you open it more this time? And it came open about halfway. And then all of a sudden, I felt a tug on my arm. And Teresa was right there, just wrapped up with my arm. And I'm like, okay. So I went over and closed the door again. I said, hey, just open it wide open for me. And the door on command just wide
Hmm.
open. I'm like, wow.
And it's a big, heavy door. It's
Yeah,
very
it's like
heavy.
thick door.
Yeah.
So, but Teresa, she was surprised about the whole thing and kind of got a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
And so, that's one of the things she says. I said, "Are you scared?" And she says, "No, I'm not scared, but that just surprised me." It's like, okay, well, we left our DVR system set up there, and we went to another part of the town, to investigate. And I was reviewing some of the footage, and we had our SLS set up, and you could see the screen of the SLS, and you've seen the tracking occur. Of course, this is all done with a laptop. It wasn't mobile. It was one area, stayed there all night like that. But you could see this go across the screen, and then all of a sudden on the DVR, both doors flung open at the back of at the front of the church, and so that was pretty amazing to us. So now every time we go back, we get to investigate, or we get to go to the town on Friday, and we'll visit that church. And I always walk around in there and talk to them, and I still try to get them to open the door for me, So all the scurrying around in there seems to me like a lot of that is residual. They were still having church. And so if anybody gets a chance to go to Old Cahaba, which is about 10 miles outside Selma, Alabama, in Dallas County, Alabama, go visit Cahaba.
The tour is the second and third weekend, the second and third Saturday.
Yes.
Yes.
In October.
Already busy this year. I know it's sad. Everybody's asked us to do certain things, and we're doing an investigation with the Ghost Hunting Housewives on October 12th, and October 26th we're going to Ashmore Estates. Knock on wood. Again, and
gonna attempt it.
Yeah, there's something that keeps me from going. Just something happens every time.
Seems to happen every time.
We've been there 3 times.
Do you have any locations like that?
Yeah, any place that tries to keep you away.
Yeah.
There's. Yeah. Probably a private case. It's probably the most haunted place, if you want to call it haunted. It's probably, to me, I think it's the most evil place. But she stays there. She doesn't let it run her away, but she's on our team, and that's how we met her. She called us over to investigate. And there's been death in the house, suicide, that type of thing. And
children dying.
A lot of children dying. And so, that we only let so many people go to that investigation with us. And
no one under 21 can go to that one.
Right. We just don't want them mixed in with those type of things, because it is a negative spirit that's there. Yeah. And I came in direct contact with that. I'm gonna say he shoved me against the hall wall several times, and kind of like he was trying to bully me and that type of thing. And of course, I'm not one to call out spirits or anything like that. I'm just not that way. But he was doing his best to try to make me mad and make me leave, and I wouldn't leave. And but I kept asking him questions, and I was very respectful. So I'm not sure if he could have done me any harm. I don't think so, but I could just tell that it was a male presence that was there.
It's not a friendly one.
Have either of you ever been scratched by any spirits?
Scratched? I haven't.
I haven't.
I've had my hair pulled.
Now, one of our other investigators has.
Yeah.
It was like down his forearm. It scratched him. But I think it was more like just an accident, because it was in a haunted place that had the death of 2 little girls. And he was one of our youngest members. And we think that they were just trying to grab his arm and get him to play with them, because he was headed up the stairs to what we call the doll room. So he was headed up the stairs where their room was, and they were just wanting to play because he got the most activity there than anyone else. So I think it was just an accident there. It was like only a single scratch. So.
Well, I don't believe that 3 scratches or 3 marks means anything, because I've been scratched so many times. I always go with, how did it make you feel?
But it is always 3.
Well, except the one on my face. But I had one where they were just trying to get my attention. We were so busy with so many other things that I couldn't pay attention to this one spirit, and she scratched my face. And I think it was just that she was doing this,
Yes.
and her nails got me. And it's like, but I told him, I said, I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel upset or anything like in the graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
Down there in Cherry Vale. So
yeah, that was interesting place.
But I will tell you, I really do enjoy graveyard history. So much stuff going on in a graveyard that whether it's haunted or not means nothing. It's the stories that are in there. There's so many things that we don't know about the dead. You know?
Yeah.
Especially now that we just moved someplace new.
We need to take you to see the Dancing Ghost of Coffee County. He does like the ladies. He likes to dance. And as long as you like fiddle music and you go on a Saturday night, especially on a full moon, he will dance with you.
It's one of Alabama's 13 ghosts. It's in Alabama 13 Ghosts in Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think it's Alabama's 13th ghost.
Okay.
Rancer Harrison. It's a Harrison cemetery. He was buried in his feathered bed, along with his fiddle and
dancing shoes was on.
And dancing shoes. And some people went and thought that he was buried with a bunch of gold, so they took dynamite and blew up his crib. And
wow.
And then they raised money and got it put back. And so,
but I still keep looking on the ground for pieces.
Absolutely. But it's active, and it's something that we've done. We went, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago or whatever, and our local news done a story on us out there and done the history part of it. And of course, you got locals that's running around. There's no ghosts out there and stuff like that. But I mean, I know what we experienced when we were there, and so if you like cemeteries, that is one to go to. And so,
you go to the chief of police there to get permission to go in there. That's one thing that we are very adamant is that we have permission to go, and usually it's written permission to go anywhere like that because that is a private cemetery. A lot of people don't think it is. But it is a private cemetery, and you have to get permission to go in.
After dark. I mean, of course, you can go in the daytime.
Yeah.
Well, daytime is when we go usually because there's too many holes, too many ant hills, things like that, ankle breakers. And the last thing I'd want to do is break my ankle in the dark and have to explain to the, it's bad enough going, hey, this happened at a cemetery. Oh, it's 11:30 at night. This happened in a cemetery. And then you got them going, what?
Yeah, you don't have to hit the cemeteries at night.
Yeah.
Plenty of action in the day.
We're going to be going back. We have some new members on our team, and they wanted to go and investigate. So it's been a few years since we've gone. So we're going to be going back, and we'll let you know if you guys want to come hang out with us. And,
sure. Please let us know. We would love it. So you know what? We're at the end of the show. Where can everybody find you guys?
Well, of course, we're on Facebook, Instagram, X, where?
TikTok.
Oh, TikTok.
YouTube.
Yeah, TikTok, YouTube. They search Deep South Paracomic-Con in any of those outlets, and they'll get us. Of course, Stan Fikes. You can look me up on Facebook, and if you have any questions about the con or any other thing, our team, just shoot me a message, and I'll be willing to answer any of that. And, of course, she's under Teresa Fikes in there, and check us out. I mean, it's going to be a great event. And are you guys coming?
Oh yeah.
That's the plan. Can the date of the Paracon is, or the Paracomic-Con is in Ozark, Alabama, September 14th and 15th.
Yeah,
so, guys, check it out. And
53 days, 11 hours, 28 minutes.
Yeah.
The seconds are ticking down.
Yes.
But who's counting, right?
Yeah, who's counting?
Only you guys, apparently. But no, 53 days, that's not a long time.
No.
And who do people contact if they're in the area and want to be volunteers?
They would just email us through Deep South Paracomic-Con at gmail.com, or they can do a message through Facebook to either one of us or through the website itself, which is deepsouthparacomiccon.com.
Okay, well, you guys all check that out, and I don't know if I'm going to have a show next week or not, everybody, so please check. And April's got a question. Maybe you guys have an answer. I have an answer. Let's see if you guys do. What's the turnover rate for team members on average?
It depends on the team, I think.
Yeah,
It does. It does, because it's not to get famous thing all the time, and everybody's not in front of the camera. So it's not exactly what they think is going to happen. You do not get rich and famous from it.
The perception of paranormal TV has ruined your investigators that's out there trying to make a difference.
And it is an expensive hobby.
Yes.
And so, you know,
Lots
they
of
don't really
batteries.
realize that.
Yep. Equipment's not cheap, and of course, the best equipment is yourself. So
Yep.
And
That's
that
what
ain't
we
cheap.
do.
And I ain't cheap, so remember, I'm on the street corner.
Right. It's expensive.
Wow. We just had the
High
police
inflation.
here.
And see, and April said true. Yeah, I'm on the street corner. And April's my cousin, so again, more family. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining in tonight. And Ron and I will not be on Paranormal Radio Not So Normal tomorrow night because another cousin is in town. And what I said before
From Arizona.
Yeah, we moved to Florida and everybody comes to visit and they let us know that they're here so we can go see them. So it all works out. And so we're doing that tomorrow. And Carl, are you having a show tomorrow night? Paranormal Radio Not So Normal? Carl will be here, so make sure you tune in.
Yep.
And I would also like to tell everyone, we're also being now broadcast on Things Network. So there you go. I'm on another place where you can find me. So join us here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central on Things Network, Bill of Rights Network, the Paranormal Pride Facebook and YouTube pages, and the Bill of Rights Network or Born TV on Rumble, and Denise Pridemore LinkedIn. So if you want to know what's going on, have questions, let me know, and we'll be around. So thank you guys, and have a great night.
Thank
Thank
you.
y'all
Good
for
night.
having us.
Bye-bye.
Good night.